Probably not, but those decisions aren't my decisions. And if the referees make those decisions and the game goes on, it's our job to figure out how to win. But obviously, both teams adjusted tactics. We had a game plan, they had a game plan. Pretty much goes out the window the first minute, and I think both sides did a good job adjusting to the conditions. So you have that. I think, something we talked about prior to the game before knowing that, just for a reference, you could knock a ball in warm-ups. We came back out and you couldn't knock a ball. It was like that. So, obviously the conditions changed pretty quickly, but no, I think this is two big mentality games back to back, and that's a statement, regardless of how the game was played or how it ended up. And that's important. Well, we did play conservatively, but it also takes quite a bit of effort to get pressure on the ball and try and reduce some of the numbers of long balls that we were playing, or that were being played against us. And just the first thing on my mind is enjoy it, celebrate it, and rest and recovery. And we got a big job to do next. We're ready and we're excited about it. We'll enjoy the time in the locker room, but it's rest and recovery and getting ready for what's next. The game is played under all sorts of conditions all over the world, and today our conditions happen to be a ton of rain and standing water on the field, and you got to find a way to get it done. And these things do happen in football, so I would say being able to adjust to any sort of conditions is always a part of it, and it takes a certain mentality to do that. And we did that today, and we're not going to shy away from celebrating that because it's not easy. Oh yes. No, we didn't have the feeling that the game was going to get canceled. It didn't start dumping rain until we were in between warm-up and coming back out. But we definitely talk about what we might need to consider if there's rain, and if there's areas of the pitch that might hold the ball up and stuff like that. Identify those things very quickly. So we definitely talk through those things, talk about what happens if a team goes direct, talk about what happens if we go up and need to maintain a lead. All those sorts of things. And part of the reason that we had rotations, part of that is working on partnerships, part of that is the ability to play multiple systems across a tournament, and part of it is making sure that when we get to the stage of the tournament, we have the ability to play healthy players, and everybody's healthy. And to get to this point in the tournament where everybody's healthy is a big win, especially in preseason. So we're in good shape, and it's just back to rest and recovery, and we have a big squad that we trust all of them. So we will assess where we're at and make the appropriate decisions, not just based on loading and how the body's feeling, but tactics and what this next game will require. I think these moments are actually really critical to building towards major events. This is a major event, and obviously winning tonight is huge because it puts us in a final. But these are also the kind of moments that you need going into major tournaments. This is an Olympic year for us, and sometimes it takes a grind, it takes a mentality, and the fact that we can do that in 2 must-win games back to back speaks volumes. To be able to stick together, you look at some of our less experienced players putting back-to-back games, major minutes, doing a great job, asked to do two totally different jobs, game to game, and from what they were asked to do earlier. Speaking specifically, Sam and Corbin in the middle, and then Jenna dealt with quite a big overload in the first half. She did a great job dealing with it, and we decided to go in a different direction, but she showed great maturity in that to weather that for that period. And and then you have some of our more experienced players like Alyssa just stepping up in a huge moment, to face a penalty at the end of the game like that and have to turn around and face penalty shootout is not easy. To make 3 saves, I think it was, and contribute to the goal tally is huge, and that just speaks volumes about her mentality, and also how these types of experiences that she's faced, over and over again in her career lead to for the rest of us, absolute confidence in her ability to do these things. We know she's going to step up. And this group that's less experienced, they're accumulating these experiences, to keep with them and that we can draw from later. So would I have wished the game would I have wished we had an opportunity to work on some of the things that we thought we'd work on and attempt a game plan and all those things? Absolutely. But sometimes life and the game goes a different direction. You gotta adjust, and that's part of it too. So we're really, really pleased. Brazil is a very formidable opponent. They've been going through some changes lately, and I still think they're working on what those changes are going to look like, which is interesting. I thought today I watched the first half. I didn't get to watch the second half, and going up a player early puts them in a different position probably in terms of rest and recovery than us. But we can acknowledge that, we can prepare a game plan that helps us offset that just a little bit and just refocus and get ready to play against them.
Yeah, hey Coach Cameron, with the Sporting Tribune. You spoke about the young players, obviously in the big moments with Corbin Albert after the missed penalty. What do you say to her kind of after that moment, after the game, and how is that a learning experience? And then also with Sophia Smith, how huge was it for her just to get that goal and obviously make the penalty as well?
Yeah. Some of our less experienced players, because we have quite a few young players that are very experienced at this point. It takes stepping up in big moments to learn what it takes to be able to do those things consistently and have success. And she stepped up when we asked her to. She did a really good job. It didn't work out for her. She'll have more opportunities in the future, and this is just another step in the road to success. And it will be painful, but winning helps. And then you look on the other side, and post-match, so just in tears, because it's just a sign of how much this means to wear this crest, to wear that responsibility, and to make good on those responsibilities. So we're really pleased with her. And this game, it's always better when you're winning, but it can be hard at times, and that's just part of being a professional. But most people don't get the opportunity to, be in those shoes, and she's so worthy, and she's had such a great tournament. And when you see somebody be able to play multiple positions and step up in multiple systems and now play 2 games back to back, knockout rounds, she wears pressure just fine. And this is a moment she's going to move on from and be really good moving forward. Oh no, penalty kicks and things like that are well rehearsed, well documented. Every scenario you could possibly go through is pre-planned, and everything that you saw tonight was pre-planned. And it's a nod to our confidence in her. So yes, if things were done spur of the moment, it might have gone her way anyway, but that was definitely pre-planned. That's a very painful memory, and that will sit probably with all of us for a really long time. So of course everybody wants to do well in these circumstances, not just because of that, but because of the opportunity to advance to a final and to make good for your team. But we've trained these things multiple times. This isn't something we just go into a tournament where we know penalty games can be decided by penalty kicks without preparing. So these things we've addressed head on from months out, and we put ourselves in a good position where even though there's a history there and it's a painful history, we're in a different place. We've taken steps to move forward to address those things. And I have to be honest, it didn't cross my mind once. I was just in the moment, and as much as you can enjoy penalty kicks, enjoying it. I think there's joint ownership there. It's definitely something we talked about before the game when we knew the grass was wet, and became exaggerated pretty quickly. I think both players and staff recognized that. There was definitely communication about it. They also overloaded our side pretty early on, our left side, and we had to make adjustments from that. And then they went more direct for aerial balls, and we had to adjust to that. And frankly, we needed to change our shape, our anticipated shape, pretty early in the match. And I think the team did a really good job figuring out how to move between offense and defense, and even transition, because it was pretty transitional at times, from a shape that we weren't expecting to play.
Coach Twila Kilgore for Team USA, thank you very much.